You got a regular screwdriver? Let's take this off. First, we're going to take all this stuff right here off. My little chrome piece, these have got to come out so I can take these bolts out of here. They're just, I believe I put silicone on them. Then we'll take these bolts out, 10 millimeters.
It's water pump right there.
We'll take the belt off once we get all this out of the way.
What's water pump right
Then we can work on the water pump.
It's water pump right there.
Yeah, that part of it. Yeah.
Take stuff right here.
Bye-bye. That's the first of the video. Tearing it all down off the top, then I'll show you the rest of it when we get to it. Take them two covers off them bolts. Take them two bolts out. Take the belt off. That'll be that for now, huh? Alright. Once all that's out of the way, get a wrench, because your throttle body is going to be in the way for that. But take that bolt out, 10 millimeter. On these, push these red clips backwards. Then you can squeeze the ends and pop them off. There, it was underneath, it was like that. So what I just loosened it a little bit. I got to take that off anyway. So this has got to come out. It's a 20 millimeter, but I don't have none. So we'll just take this off with this crescent wrench, bro. All right, take that all the way out. Then we got to pop these caps off. This is extra. People will have to deal with that. I will. I don't think there's a bolt on the, yeah, there might be on the bottom right here. The alternator, down here is the alternator bolt. And these two bolts got to come out of there, that cover. But just get everything out of the way before you even start pulling. Then we'll pull the belt and we'll do all the other stuff. All right, that's another part of it. Put you a deep 19 millimeter over top of that sensor. Be real careful, the sensor's plastic. And then take them all out of there. All right, go ahead, buddy. Part two. Get your 3/8 socket, stick it in this little slot down here. Bring it that way, get the tension off the belt, and pop off the belt. Everything's off of the top that needs to be right now. Loosen that so we can pull that out. And then all we gotta do is pull a bunch of water pump bolts. That pulley right here, the little pulley right there, the little black one, and this tensioner, that's gotta come off. The idler pulley and the tensioner. Then the water pump can come all the way out of there. Bye-bye. 15 millimeter short. 13 millimeter short to get that pulley off. Danielle's looking for a socket belt, 13 millimeters under the pan somewhere. We'll find it. That's a deep. I need a short one. Tensioner was a 15, but I was wrong. It's a 16. Okay. Huh. All right, here's what we got. What was that? 16 millimeter, 13 millimeter for the idler pulley, 15 millimeter for the tensioner, the two 13 millimeters for the water neck. I got a new one of these anyway. I got a 192 instead of a 203, and I don't want a 180 because there's too many sensors on this bad bitch. All I got to do now is take off all these 13s. This is loose, ready to come out. Everything's out of the way. Take these 13s all down here, all these 13s. There's a bunch of them. I got both the bottom and the upper radiator hoses off because I'm going to put them yellow ones on there anyway. I got nice new ones. Everything's out of the way, and that's all there is to it. Just some things right there, and all these go to my little chrome doodad. I rigged me up a little chrome doodad. There's my little water temperature switch. That's the little screw for my 10 millimeter for my water pipe right there, water pipe. Then over here we got just my chrome doodad and my cold air bullcrap. That ain't all the way on there. That's the two hoses I'm replacing with the yellow silicone ones, nice ones, the new ones. And that's that. So there's only that many bolts, none. And then a bunch of these, some long ones, some short ones. I'll show a diagram where they go to later. Right now we're gonna get all these bolts out. The water pump will be off. Then I'll show you what to do from there. Adios. Once all 11 of your bolts are out, there's they are, all 11 of them. Pull that out of there, and it's out of the way. Then he loosened one bolt he shouldn't have had to, but he's gonna tighten that back now because he likes me like that.
That's not true, dude.
See, we're ready to pull it off. Hurry up, you're slowing me down from pulling off the water pump. It's all ready to fall off now, guys. The water pump is loose. All 11 bolts. There's 11 bolts. Some are little, some are big, some are short, some are long. I'll show you where they go when we do the next video after we pop this off.
continued.
The best way to pop this off is to get something behind that little nub under his forehead. If he'd get out of the damn way, I'll show you. Get something. Anything will probably work. Let's keep Mr. Wonderbar here. Let me get out of the way for a minute.
I'm about done now.
No. Put it right here. Nah. I need something to get right here and pry this off, but I don't want to do it off my. There it is, like that. I don't know if you've seen that, but I just went pop and it popped right off. You can use a screwdriver, wonder bar, breaker bar,
Anything get hold of
any goddamn bar. Bye-bye, bar.
this.
Okay, once you reach the water pump out of there and fish it out, get you a putty knife. Keep it extra flat so you don't scar none of that material. So you don't scar nothing. And then we'll wipe it off and then put on a new water pump. Another video in a minute. All right, that's how you do it. Really easy, like, don't scar up that aluminum. Just go around it until it's all smooth. It's really smooth, dude. Most of it's just dirt. Just go over the go over the edges, and then we'll wipe it if it ain't really none. You're doing that for like high spots.
Okay.
And there ain't really much high spots there.
It'll be scratched.
All right, so what about right here? It's kind of a rusty scale shit. Just any little high spots, kind of flatten them off like that. Yeah, there you go. And then wipe it with this rag. Wipe the whole mating surface. If you hold this up out of your way while you're doing it, it'll be a little easier. Get all the mating surface cleaned up. Really good and nice and shiny. You gotta scrub it, Bubby. Like right here. See any high spot right here? See that? Feel it? Then get the putty knife and clean it off if that rag don't do it. See it? Any little high spots, get off like that with a putty knife. Scrape it off real flat, then wipe them. But make sure everything's really nice and smooth, or it won't seal right, and you'll have a water pump leak anyway. So you're defeating the purpose of water pumping. Bye bye. All right. Just make sure it's all smooth everywhere. Make sure there ain't no high spots. If there's any high spots, just go over them real quick. Make sure there ain't no high spots. Nowhere, all around it. Make sure it's all nice and good. See a little bit of shit come off? You don't want nothing on there. You want to keep it all clean. Everywhere. All around where the seal goes. It's got to be flat. See that crap on there? It's got to come off. All that. So proof check your partner. Make sure he does it right. All right, now, Mr. Carpenter, wipe it all down real good for me again with a rag. Shake that rag out over here first, so there ain't no dirt on it. Shake it out real good, and then wipe all this area one more time, and then we're ready to start putting the pump back on. Bye-bye. Okay, you got 5 little short bolts. They're going to be right here. 1, 2, 3 down here, right here, 3, 4, and 5 over here in the corner, right there. Where you see the threads, them are the short ones, that's a 5. Then you're going to have these 4. They're going to go through that water pump and the timing cover on the block down there on the bottom. These 2 big ones will go on the high spots. There's only 2 high spots. Right here's the high spot. See, that's lower than this. That's a high spot, and that's a high spot. The one with the stud on the end of it, the top one, will be this one with a stud. So that's actually like for mounting. I got this rigged here, and this one's going to be for my little chrome cover that y'all don't have. Most of you don't. That little chrome doodad. But them 2 long ones go there, the short 5, and then from there you can put all the other ones in there. It'll be easy. Once you figure out the 5 little ones, see the ones that were the threads. You might want to mark that down on paper so you won't be confused which is where they go. And then once you do them, put all the rest of them in there, and the 2 long ones on the high spot of the water pump, and that's it. I'm trying to get detailed for people that don't know. Never done this, because whenever people make videos, they don't show you half of what you got to do. Bye bye. Break out the water pump. I don't want to be recorded, just my hands, because I'm ugly. I'll break the camera.
True that.
Alright, the gasket should be already on there like that. It's already together. It's ready to go. See it? Ain't that pretty? Alright, now let's get it down here. Push it down in here.
Easy.
Clear everything. Lift this up out of the way. bring it up there where it's supposed to be. You're gonna hold it for me?
Yes, sir.
All right, hold it right there. And we'll get the short bolts. 5 short bolts like I showed you before on there, where they're all supposed to be. I made a little diagram for myself. I could figure this out. Y'all can't. But do it the best way you can. Like right down here on the very bottom, right here, Greg Joe. And you lift it up here and come this way, right there. Get it started with your fingers. Make sure it's straight, or you'll cross thread them on that aluminum and it'll be no tie-doh. Okay, come over here. We had another one right here. Come up a little bit. Too much. Make sure you start it straight so it don't cross thread in that aluminum, because if it does, you're in big trouble. I don't know why this thing trying to start for me. There it goes. All right, this felt like it wasn't starting. All right, the other one, I believe it was right here. There's 3, got 2 more. One was right here above the crank pulley, right there in the center of the water pump. So you'll have to fill that by hand. There'll be a hole down here. Right there in the middle, fill it by hand, get it in there. Start it all by fingers. So that way you know it ain't cross-threading. That's a good start on that one. And one more will be, I got the one by the water pipe. The water pipe is right here. Then I got the one by the pulley. I got the one there. And there'll be one up here by the stud. See how I got stud rope? That's the stud. And the short one goes right underneath that one. So that's that. Get them all started by hand, so we know they're all straight. There won't be no problems running them in. Then all the rest of them, find all 4 holes. The 2 big ones already go in the high spots. Here's a high spot on the water pump itself, how it's way out here and them are way in here. See how they're out here, babe? And down here they're really low. Then the other one was down here by this water jacket for the bottom hose. Start it with your fingers. Start this one with your fingers. Make sure they're not cross-threading. Then the rest of them are these 4. Find all the other holes. Here's a hole. Start them all finger tight. Here's a hole. Wherever there's a hole, find them in there. All right, there's 2 more holes somewhere. I'd say down on the bottom over here and one over here. Right, here's one. Come over here, Joe. Underneath your thermostat housing, there's one right here. That's good. Put them in, get them started with your fingers. A good few turns, so that way they don't cross thread. And there should be one more. Don't know where he is. Probably down here, right here, down, straight down here. Underneath here, I'll show it to you. Down there on the bottom, you'll see the ones in the bottom. Mostly you could just fill by hand on those. I'll get him finger started. Then I'll let my boy run them all in. All fingers started, and they're all ready to run in. I'll run them all in with a 13 millimeter. Cross them over. Do one here, not even snug, just get them touching. Then over here, over here, over here, back and forth, top to bottom. Zigzag like you do a tire. So that way it goes on flush and you don't crack anything. That's that. Next video is after we get them all torqued down.
Goodbye.
Or ran down. Bye-bye. All right, the best way to get them all started in there is use that socket They should do it more than that, bro.
Already getting no.
No, it shouldn't be. Run them in. Don't hold that in really far. Just jiggle it around a little bit. Use that socket like a screwdriver and run them all the way in until they touch. Like that. Then go over there to the next side. Way over there. Over there. You push it in some. There you go. Run that in with your screwdriver. We're using like an angle off that pulley, so it'd be probably better to use the wrench ratchet for it. He says. Run that all the way in. It's not tight, is it?
It's a little snug, but it's just going in.
I mean, it ain't like cross thread.
No.
Make sure none of these cross thread. Because if you cross thread into that aluminum, you'll have to put a drill them out, Healy coil, and all that crap that you don't want to do. That's a nightmare. That's that. Well, you got to keep your hands in the way. Do this one right here. Run it in with your fingers like I showed you first. That way you know it ain't.
I can't listen, but I couldn't nothing.
And like it ain't stripping. Now do that top one. And then do the bottom one. Straight down in the middle of the bottom, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do them all like that by hand first. That's good. Don't torque it. Straight above that pulley on the very bottom, there's another one down there. Most of them you'll have to feel by hand. Once they're all running in there like that, then we can start torquing them in. Flush and flat. That'll be it. That's enough. But you can figure out what to do. Turn them in with a screwdriver, like a screwdriver, and a socket in your hand until they're all flush. Then we'll go back over them with the wrench and tighten them down, and then I'll have torque specs for it. I'll have to look up the torque specs again. But that way it's good to go. All right, bye. Good enough. No, just good enough. All right, now once you get them all tightened in like that by hand, then you're going to torque them in. We already did that one down there a little bit, and that one. Now we're going to go up here. Do this one, and the one straight down in the bottom. Until it's just snug, really good and snug, okay? That seems like it. That's good. Now the very bottom one. Right up over the crank pulley in the middle there, there's one. And you're going to crisscross like that. We did left and right, up and down, then we'll go up here to the top right, and then we'll go down the bottom left. Like do one up here on the top right here. That one there. Run them in until they're just tight. Good enough. Now the bottom left, down there on the very bottom left somewhere. You crisscross all the way around so it all goes on flush and it ain't all cockeyed or nothing, all right? That's how it's done. This one up here on the top. And then see if there's one down here about this way somewhere, right in the bottom of that. Should be one right there too, ain't there? Mm-hmm. Tighten him in there. You tighten that one. See how we're zigzagging? We're getting them all up in there. That's good. Now this one up here, not real tight, just touching them in there. I'll get a torque wrench to put the tight torque on them. All right, a little snugger than that. Now that they're all in there, right? You got that bottom bolt here. Mm-hmm. This one under here, right here. This one's got to go in. Yeah. Run that one underneath there. Make sure you get all 11 bolts, people. All right, that was a 2-minute video. I'm gonna stop that one. And all we're gonna do now is take this O-ring off and put a new O-ring on it. Put a little dab of red RTB. Run that 10mm bolt back in there, and that's the pipe. That's what we're doing next, but I ain't gonna show that video. Maybe after I'm done. Bye. All right, get your little red silicone on your thingy. Put it all around that. Hold that pipe up for me, bro. And don't let it go back down yet. Put it all the way around the pipe. All the way around. Make sure everything's got a little bit of silicone. Not too much, just just enough to cover that whole old gasket, because it don't come with a new one on this one. Then drop it right down straight in the hole. Let me go. Right down straight in the hole. Hold on there. Then what we do is pop it in. Then we get the 10mm bolt up here that came out of it, and we start it right there. Finger start it. Then you get the extension 10mm. Well, we had to use the wrench on that, didn't we? Because that throttle body's in the way. Stay here. Don't worry about me. Worry about this. Run it down as fast as you can with your fingers. Then you get your 10mm wrench because the throttle body's in the way. And you tighten that up. Once that's all tight, that's all you do. Then that would be in there once it's tight all the way. Bye-bye. Then any excess silicone that comes out of there, just wipe it off right there a little bit. I got more of a mess than I just had. Wipe that off. Here you go. Clean that off for me, man. I made a bigger mess than what it was. So you don't look like you jerry-rigged it. Well, that's that. That's how you do it. Then tighten all for the rest of the water pump bolts on. Make sure they're all tight all the way around it. I had a torque specs to it, but I'm just going to do it really good by hand. That's good enough. That's how it's going to look. Make sure all 11 bolts are really good and snugged evenly. Probably about, if you were to put a torque wrench on it, I think it was like 30 pounds, but I'm not sure. I'm not going to torque it. I pretty much know torque by hand. So I got to loosen that too. I got to get my torque set, loosen that. All right, grab my thermostat in that box right here, this blue box. I got a 192 thermostat. I'll pop that. Here, I'll do it. This was on there, but I took it off at the thing because I was just thinking about stealing it.
Thief.
Yeah, I'm a thief. Just trying to go on there. There it went. Make sure it's in there good. Some of them got a little valve right here. See this valve? If that has a valve like that, a pressure relief valve kind of, you want it up at top at 12 o'clock, right up here. But this one don't have one, so it don't really matter. I'll just shove him in there. Right like that. And she's good to go. Wipe off this. Maintenance surface. Make sure it's good and flush. It's good. I ain't worried about cleaning it right now. It's too good. Just wipe it off. Get a little bit of roadkill off of it. Now's a good time to paint these if you all want to. Get these 2 bolts that you saved, 13mm. Put them in there. Start them all with your fingers. Start them with your fingers so you know they're straight. Damn, my back's broke. I can't do this. Take one bolt out. Start the one. Just start them with your fingers so you know they're straight. And then run them all the way in like we did with the socket. Use it like a screwdriver. Run it all the way in there. And then do the other side. And then you tighten them a little bit at a time until it seats all the way together. That's good. Run the other one in there. Until they seat all the way tight. Tighten them both one up at a time, one at a time. And that would how you do it. I'm going to quit this video because my back's hurt. You're running them in. Just like that. Then get your socket, like a screwdriver, 13mm. And hold the socket in your hand and twist it. Take them all the way in there. just where you barely touch, and then start the other one again. Go to the other one. That way it's going on flush and not cockeyed in any way. Any cockeyed, you'll leak, guys. Then we'll finish it up with a little bit of torque on each one, and that'll be it. That's the water jacket for the thermostat. All right. Get you some Teflon tape, twist it on this way, so that way it won't unravel when you put it in there. Just go around it one time. You ain't got to put a bunch on there, and then make sure this starts straight, because you crooked it, it's plastic, it'll break, it'll cross thread. Make sure you start it straight, then ratchet it on with a 19D until it's good and snug. Not real tight, just snug, and it won't leak because that Teflon's on there. That's your heat sensor, your water temp switch right here. Once that's on there good and snug, that'll work, and it's ready to go back together with the wire up there. Now I got to put on the tensioner and the idler pulley down there. All the bolts are tight. Put on the bottom radiator hose. I got my yellow hose on there now. Yippee-ki-yo, that's all. See you later.